Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second installment of Real Stocks. Thank you for joining me. It's been a while since that last video. Reason being, not much happens in the markets every single day. I find it's a little more bland in the stock market than it is in the cryptos, and that is a very good thing. Let me tell you why. If you're used to trading cryptos, the stock market will almost seem like slow motion. I say almost because there's times when this thing can get moving. This thing can get moving at certain times, and you don't have many millionaires and billionaires coming out of the stock market for nothing. The thing does move. You just have to know how to play it. All right, so I've added a couple positions and I cut a position. I want to talk about CASA, the stock that was lost. Let me talk about CASA first. So CASA is a new stock. It's called an IPO, or initial public offering. CASA decided to go public. They said we're gonna give 20 million shares to the market, and started trading them here. Price rose up very nicely, went from looks like $14 to $21 here, right? 14, 13 to $21, almost 100% straight away, and then proceeded to have this nice sideways basing action. I actually bought CASA here, I think it was. Maybe it was here, or here, and then it proceeded to roll over on me. And I think I'm not sure if this is when the market tanked or not, but I sold it and lost track of it, and that's a big mistake. Lesson number one in investing, there's lots of lesson number ones, by the way. Never lose sight of a stock. Never lose sight of a coin or a stock. Never lose sight of an investment potential, because just because it failed here doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to go up. And I really like the company. I'm just very disappointed that I lost track of it. Cryptos are very distracting. Okay, so that's CASA. Let's go talk about the one that I cut. What made the cut list? BL made the cut list. BL made the cut list. The reason this thing made the cut list was because of this massive drop, and not only because of the massive drop. I actually only cut it today, and I cut it today due to the fact that I didn't like this action. Everything's closing low towards the lows. We didn't see. I was looking for some kind of a bounce. It may come tomorrow. I don't know if and when it's going to come, but it hasn't tanked super far. Still plenty up here from this gap up move. I just really didn't like the action. Maybe I was slightly impatient with it. That was possible, but I had a huge loss in this one. And even though the position was small, I figured I'd still preserve the capital, because one thing could happen. This thing could just drift lower for like ever. One thing with stocks, or I don't know if it's different than cryptos, but these things can just drift. Okay, they can just drift without any direction, as kind of seen here, right? This thing drops and just drifts for me. That's not good for the types of positions that I trade. So I had to cut it loose, and overall, I still like the company. We're just getting down to the breakout point of this pattern here, so I don't think it's necessarily a sale if you just buy the stock itself at this level. But for what I'm doing, I had to cut it loose. All right, let's talk about the two that I added. Applied Materials right here. So Applied Materials is kind of an oldie but a goodie. I forget what they do. I don't really care. The good thing is that they have earnings that are very good. Their growth rate is excellent. And, oh, there we go. And they had a huge run-up. They had a nice base here, which is kind of a non-traditional flat base, I think, if you will. Very traditional flat base, under 15%. And then now we have another base. Okay. And this is a very late stage base. But I think this big W pattern that you see here, this is called a double bottom. And these double bottoms are actually really cool chart patterns. What they do is they form this W, and the second low should be lower than the first low. What that does is it shakes out all the weak holders, the people that don't want to stay in this stock long term, gets rid of their shares, and brings in fresh new legs to the move. Now, this stock is also exhibiting something else called straight up off the bottom. Okay, that's a thing. I think that's a William O'Neill thing. And what straight up off the bottom indicates is that it usually happens in a double bottom pattern. Very seldom in a cup with handle, usually in a double bottom pattern. Extremely high volume at the bottom, and then high volume for several days thereafter. And that's what we get here, exactly, straight up off the bottom. Okay, straight up off the bottom. And I didn't buy it there. I actually bought it right here over the breakout point, as a good trader should, and it's been behaving pretty well since. Pretty well since. Good green candles. The red candles are lower than the green candles, and now we're just consolidating around the breakout point. We should resume an uptrend here. I would anticipate in the next week or so, a couple days to a week. So that's Applied Materials. Let's talk about ATHM. I don't want to use log scale. ATHM is a Chinese used car selling company, kind of like Auto Trader, if you will. They're the Auto Trader of China. It's a good way to put it. ATHM has been around for a little bit here. Yeah, they've been around for a while. Big nice base here. Big nice base here. And then we proceeded higher. I bought on the breakout. I bought on this breakout from this kind of a weird cup with handle pattern. This is very deep for a handle in a cup with handle pattern. The only reason I'm viewing it as still valid is basically because of the fact that the whole market kind of had a crappy week there and everything kind of drifted lower. So I'm taking this in kind with the market. So relatively, it should be a very valid handle. Now, this is a cup with handle base. Usually you don't want to see these V bottoms in a cup with handle. However, I'll take what I can get. And the main reason that you buy this particular chart isn't necessarily due to the strangeness of the chart pattern, because this is not a typical cup with handle pattern. The reason you buy it is because off of earnings, it broke out of that weird cup with handle pattern. So here is earnings. Earnings are a day where these companies talk about their business, say what they did, say what they do. You've heard of earnings estimates and things, and it gets weird. But if earnings estimates aren't met, things tend to get nasty. But in this particular case, on this particular case, what we have is a stock that has massive volume, peak close. Even though it looks like a red candle, look where it closed. It gapped all the way down here. This is something different in stocks and cryptos. You have gaps. And just like the moves in crypto can be weird, these gaps in stocks can scare the crap out of you sometimes. So you have the gap down from the close to the open. So this was 81 and it opened at 77. So basically a 5% gap down. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. I apologize. So a 5% gap down, came down, sold off, came all the way back up through with a peak close. Next day peak close. Next day closed higher. Not quite a peak close, but very good volume. Very good volume coming up here. So I bought that. Good earnings. Same thing. Taking a couple days off. Going to continue higher. Sitting above the 10 days. Beautiful. So next, let's talk. Next, let's talk about Netflix. Say that 3 times real fast. Next, let's talk. Next, let's talk. Next, let's. All right. So Netflix here. My buy was down here. Netflix had a little route to the downside, held on to it, came back up very nicely, very good volume to the upside. And then on this day, on this very weird day, a short selling firm decided to say it could short Netflix all the way back to 300. Guys, I'm sorry, but I can't make this video again. They said they could short Netflix all the way back to 300. Don't know why they said that. Basically had a 10% short float. In stocks, when you short something, you can actually get information periodically on how many people have short positions in a stock. So that's what a short float is. And only 10% of the stock's float is short. What the float is the amount of shares available to trade. And they said they could short it back down to 300. So far, it hasn't happened. Hopefully, we continue higher. Good declining volume. The only thing that's a little concerning me here, there's a little bit of what's called a diamond top here. Just a little bit. It's not super diamond. Okay. There's something called a diamond top. This looks very similar to a diamond top. And but we'll see what happens. All right. Let's talk about Square. This is the stock of the week and the month probably for me. Look at all this beautiful green volume. I mean, you can barely see the red bars compared to the green bars. And the price has just been marching higher. Nothing to see here, folks. Just let us work. And this thing is just working. This is beautiful. This is exactly what you hope that you get when you buy a breakout. Okay, it's exactly what you get. You hope what you get when you buy a breakout. It's nice to have those big, huge up thrusts, but these slow melt ups give you, I mean, the thing is, it's never on anyone's radar. A stock that's only up, 1% every day does not go on anyone's radar. It's those stocks that pop, 15, 20% in a day, and then you have people coming in and shorting them and selling and taking profits because it's so fast. But these slow melt-ups, everyone just gets bored with them and just lets it go. And so it's beautiful. And this is moving in that fashion. I would really like it if my target here were to be met by May. And if I am so inclined, I could probably draw a trend line as such, and hopefully that can, man, if that can maintain, get a pop up and come down, get a pop up and come down, up, 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 pop up and come down. Oh, this is going to be gorgeous. This is going to be gorgeous. Yeah, I think my max target on this for a profit percentage is like a 250+% trade. So I can't wait for that to work out. And Twitter, both Jack Dorsey companies, mind you, if you don't know who he is, he started Twitter and Square. Twitter behaving very nicely after this huge gap up, just kind of like Square, just marching, going to work, just going to work. Volume is not super high, but we have some nice green pops in through here, not too many red pops, keeping the selling low. And we're just marching higher. So Twitter getting on with the program, not much to see here, ladies and gentlemen. Just making money. So the big question in the air for me is Netflix. Is Netflix going to sell down, or is Netflix going to continue sideways or go higher? As long as it doesn't sell down, I'll be happy. If it does sell down, I'll give it a little bit of room. I am still pretty profitable in this position, but I don't want to give up that profit if this thing starts to fail. If it does start to fail, I will cut things very quickly to maintain as much profit as I can. I will not let this turn into a loss. I've been up as much as 50% on this particular trade. I mean, to be up 50% in something and let it fall into a loss just screams horrible money management. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I know you guys have been asking for a newbie video. This was not that video. I'm working on that. There's a few things I need to put together in terms of brokerage recommendations. I probably could do it off the top of my head, but I just want to do a little bit more research and take a little bit more time. Also getting ready to start my Real Crypto Power Hour. There's just a lot of things to do. So there you go, guys. Real stocks. Thank you for joining me. Ask any questions in the comments. Look forward to talking to you guys next time. If you have any specific questions, just like good one-offs, go ahead and throw them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer those questions. And I will see you guys next time.